Hey everyone, Sean Savin Moo at your service. Today we're talking about a Hogan secret. There's been a lot of secrets for Hogan, right?
Yeah.
You hear a lot about them. This one though is a really solid nugget with the driver that allowed him to have the driving prowess to win 4 US Opens. You can't win the US Open if you don't drive the ball well. And that's something that Mr. Hogan has done incredibly well his whole life. This is one of the main ingredients that allowed him to perform, especially as a backhander, and you really don't want to miss it. And the fact that we don't want you to miss next week's video either, we want you to subscribe to our channel pretty please.
Give us a thumbs up and leave a comment down below.
And make sure to hit the bell.
Make sure you hit that bell, please. So, Sav, you are a backhander extraordinaire. Like many of you out in listener land, as well as on the PGA Tour and the LPGA, play to your backhand. Phil Mickelson is a great example. He's got a great throwing arm, but he plays golf on his backhand. So does Sergio, so does Jordan Spieth, so does Paul Azinger, and many, many, many more. So Savannah throws and rights and kicks predominantly with her right foot, but she's got a fantastic two-hand backhand in tennis. And this is where she's strongest in golf, is on her backhand. So one of the things, so we're going to jump right in. Just before we began this video, as we're warming up, Savannah loves an open stance, and the open stance really gives you some fantastic results when it comes to the irons. Yeah. And the reason why it allows you to is when you're playing the ball, let's say slightly back of center or slightly forward of center for the fade or draw. And so it's fade forward, draw back, by the way. And because the ball is close to center, if you have an open stance, it's still okay because you have a platform underneath your golf swing as you're swinging to the target. So that's the name of the game, is to be able to make through to the target. And if you look at Ben Hogan's platform under his left foot, it was flawless, okay?
I feel like I have more space to swing as well.
More space to swing how?
Just in terms of like width and everything.
Oh yeah, you have the width of a seagull, right? It's fantastic. So I call you the javelin thrower, because to throw with a javelin, you're throwing with a lot of width. Yeah. But to support your width through the ball when the ball is forward to center. So if we were to face the camera here, Sav, and show everyone if you were hitting a drive in that direction there, and let's give you an intermediate point. So let's say you wanted to go left edge of that intermediate point. So notice the ball position, because you want to catch the ball on the way up. If you look at the longest drivers out there, apart from maybe DJ, because DJ tends to hit it a little bit on the way down, and so does Cameron Champ. But if Rory wants to take one out there, his angle of attack is +7 with the driver. And when he's looking for a little more accuracy, it's around +3, right? So you're in the +8 range, between 7 and 10. Yeah. So right now it looks like you can, catch it on the way up. Yeah. And you look at the ball position that's there. Well, if you had an open stance, well, how in the world would you be able to get to the left edge of that intermediate point from there? Will be pretty much mission impossible, right? Because you're trying to go out there and there's no platform underneath. So let's look at what that looks like down the line here. So we're setting up to hit a little draw. We're going to go left edge of that. Go ahead and set up. So the question we're asking ourselves is, when you throw the club in this direction through your arc, does it feel like you'll be able to support that? Show me something that's too open. And you want to swing here. It's going to be hard, huh? Show me it's too closed. So if you swing here, does it feel like you have to swing more towards yourself?
Yeah.
So that's when you know that your stance would be too closed.
Yeah.
Is if you want to go in the direction of your intermediate point, you actually have to swing towards you. That's the last thing you want to do.
Yeah.
So you want to throw the club as far away from yourself as possible without losing your balance and without strain.
Yeah.
So to you, you have access here, right? Okay, let's let one go. Let's see you throw one in that direction. Beauty. Ooh, look at that baby go.
Great.
Right down the middle. Nice carry. Nice total distance. There's 270 down the left center of the fairway. And you didn't nut that. It was just a little off, right? So that's a really good miss for you. So if you look at 102 miles an hour, a little low on the face, you had a little more spin, and that robbed you of a couple of yards. But did it feel like a solid swing? Excellent.
That was sweet.
That was a really good swing, Sav. Let's try one more. Good. Awesome. Well, it started on the line that I wanted you to start on. You lost a little bit of your balance?
I think it was just not set up properly. I rushed it.
You rushed
rushed
it?
it?
Okay. So what did you feel was off in your setup? Because you caught that a little bit low on the face, right?
The tee was a little crooked.
Oh, yeah, you hear that? She says the tee was a little crooked and it was bothering me. So this is an important lesson in itself, right?
Yeah.
Because if you look down and you go, oh, I don't know, the ball may be falling over. It's like I got to hurry up and hit the ball before something bad happens, right? So fantastic. If something feels off at address, you got to rectify that because you got to give yourself the best chance at success.
Yeah.
How's it now?
Good.
I do a good job? Yeah. Okay. Isn't that something? Mo?
Yeah.
All right. More in focus. Dum de dum de dum de dum. 275, 6. Go. So those are your good missed drives.
Yeah.
So you're looking between 270 and 280 missed, just a hair low on the face. But look at the angle of attack. And look how consistent those drives are. I mean, those are right down the middle. That'll set you up for some nice birdie opportunities. Okay? So let's look at what Moo has for it. I'm going to put, because we're still waiting on his gear.
Yeah.
I'm going to put my shaft and your driver for Moo because that's a little too whippy for him.
One more.
You're going to hit one more?
One more.
Okay, she wants to hit one more. How can a dad say no to that?
Try to make it to the 290 club.
Okay. Ooh, how was that? Well, how was the effort level like?
Not too much.
Because you're too
So,
focused on
so
distance.
you're trying to stretch yourself out, right?
Try
Yeah.
to smoke it.
Yeah.
Trying to smoke it.
Don't
She
do that.
she's made it up to 288 with that driver.
Yeah.
Try to get to 290.
She wants to get to the 290 mark. All right, give it a go. But you can't do it at the expense of strain, though, right? How'd that feel?
I was in the screws.
On the screws, baby. Let's see.
Oh, that looks really good.
Ooh, over 260 carry,
Oh,
285.
whatever.
Well done, Sav.
That was good.
So let's look at the numbers on that one. So we got right in the screws, like you said, 7.2 up, 2,000, 2,100 spin. So you milked that drive for everything it was worth. And so look at the consistency of your driving has really gone up. is a little bit more closed stance than Sav. So Moon needs, like Hogan, a more offset stance, a more diagonal stance,
Yeah.
which will give you the ability to brace up against your lead side.
Yeah.
So we go ahead and set up to that shot.
Okay.
So we're going very closed in the grip and club face.
Yeah.
What we're doing is we're dropping the left foot back and opening it.
Yeah.
Yes. So doesn't that feel now that you, like a soccer kick,
Yeah.
if I wanted the ball to curve to the right,
Yeah.
well, I'd be brushing it with the inside of my left foot in that direction.
Yeah.
So the club face is the inside of your foot,
Yeah.
and we're going this way.
Yeah.
So there's your draw.
Yeah.
So do you find that the stance is going to allow you to release to the left of that intermediate point?
Yeah. I feel like access
Good.
to that.
And how's the width feel?
The width of the
stance?
it feels a little wide.
You can narrow it down. Yeah, it
Okay.
looked a little wide. There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Good. So now let's see you let it release up and in that direction.
Okay.
Okay. So when did you give up on up and in that direction? So this is
is
what
some-
happens to a lot of you, right?
Yeah,
And I'm
so-
glad you did that.
Yeah.
So
The
when
ball-
you go underneath it and pop fly it,
Yeah.
that means, see, we want it to go here.
Right.
Remember this?
Yeah.
All right, so this is the height that you want to send it on.
Yeah.
And so if we look at, right here, what just transpired as far as, so notice now you're only 2.7 degrees up,
Yeah.
and before you were 5 degrees up.
Yeah. So it's
So
kinda-
that means you gave up on the height,
Yeah.
and which means also then the path was only 1.7 into out, whereas before was 5 degrees into out.
Right.
So that means that when you got over here,
Yeah.
you went ball.
Yeah, I did because my stand.
Instead of staying up and to the left.
Yeah, just the stance is very new.
Yeah, exactly.
It's throwing me off.
So let's see that again.
Okay. Just gonna do a practice swing first, just to get a reference.
Yep. See the blur. Good. Does that allow you to stay up and left?
Yeah.
And what was the blur like? Did you see where the bottom of the blur was?
Yeah, it was right here. Oh, sorry, right here.
Yeah. So from there, you feel like you can catch it on the way up.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay.
So from where you are there,
Yeah.
you can stay left of that intermediate point and come here.
Yeah.
Okay. Completely gave up on it.
Yeah.
I could see at the top of the backswing move,
Yeah. Well, what
you got here and your head went there.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Can you put your hand in a fire right now and swear you stayed left of that intermediate point into this height?
No, it completely defaulted to the ball there.
This left you, right?
Yeah.
So as soon as this was gone,
Yeah.
that was your new target.
Right.
And then all of you wonder why you end up, hey, I just pull hooked it. The thing went super low.
Yeah.
Now look at the angle of attack,
Yeah.
only 1.5 into out,
Yeah.
and it's 1.5 down. You actually hit down on that.
Yeah, because as you can see, it stayed low.
Yes. So when you end up doing that, here, pass me your driver.
Yeah.
You're getting ready to catch it on the way up, and then you go, oh, where's my target? I forgot.
Yeah.
Ball. And then the head sneaks forward, and now you're on your way down, and it's either a pop fly or one of those.
Right.
Very good, man. So you see, this is what you guys are doing, and this is your last, kind of rite of passage
Yeah,
to
to learn.
become, to becoming a single-digit handicap.
Yeah. This is
Right?
Yeah.
So this is what's keeping you as an 18 handicap
Yeah.
for your tee shots, because now your irons are just off the charts good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was your effort level on that one, by the way?
Not a lot. At
Okay,
all.
good.
Yeah, it's just I'm just trying to be careful.
Piecing it together. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Okay.
So it's too close to the ball.
You gotta drop that ball.
How far back do I need to go?
Well,
Diagonal.
Because it feels like I'm off center now if I'm going too far back.
okay. So
Yeah.
show me a stance then
Yeah,
that would allow you to stay left of the intermediate point
yeah.
and catch it on the way up.
Okay. That one.
Right on.
Yeah,
Do you guys see that? That was pretty cool, huh?
yeah,
So I gave you the task,
yeah,
and then your brain says, well, this is where I need to put my anatomy in
Yeah.
order to achieve that shot.
yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that one was the one.
Oh, baby.
There we go.
Right?
Yeah,
So there we go. There's an easy 320,
yeah,
right? And then let's look at the numbers on that. Good. So 2.7 from the inside,
yeah,
2.2 up.
yeah,
You caught it just a little high in the face. That was good though.
Yeah.
And that's what killed the spin,
yeah. Should have.
right?
Yeah.
But I mean, look at the club head speed. Yeah, you're swinging smooth at 120 miles an hour,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
I'd be on my way to the chiropractor. 115 is my limit. Hogan played a lot of fades with the driver, but he had a closed stance. Just because you have a closed stance doesn't mean that it automatically is a draw flavor, right? So using my intermediate point, I can direct the traffic of my swing depending on if I want to fade, I'm going to go left edge. So watch as I take my diagonal stance here. So it feels like I have support underneath my swing if I'm going straight over the intermediate point. And I'm going to take this. See how I'm bringing that around? So now it feels like I can stay to the left of the intermediate point. Left. Left. And there ball goes. And I probably had just a smidgen of draw spin on that one. But that's left center of the fairway. So we would call that a straight fade. Not bad, 298. Ooh. So just a little bit on the bottom of the club. I caught that a little thin and a little toward the toe, and that's what gave me that gear effect. But I'm 15 yards left center. It's fantastic. So now if I take that again and I want to start it to the right side of my intermediate point, see how I'm doing that now? So that feels like a little too far right. There it is. That feels like right edge. So there's my draw. I'm going to now stay up and to the left of that intermediate point, just like we were talking about with Moo. Here it is. Ow.
You okay?
Yep, I'm good.
Was your foot too far back?
No, it's just my knee has been bugging me.
Oh, right.
So that was pretty good, huh?
Oh yeah.
We'll have to use that as the. So look at that. Can you put it right-handed, by the way, Sav? So
Oh yeah, that's right. It's
Yeah, close horrible.
yeah, you lefties, you ignoring me. Don't want to ignore the righty, right? Okay, there we go. So 277 carat. Let's try that again. So I got my intermediate point. Check. Make sure that's lined up. Excellent. Feels like I can go up and over the intermediate point. Now I'm just going to scooch that a hair to the right. There we go. So now I'm starting to the right of the intermediate point, and I'm staying right edge of the intermediate point back and through. So I see the intermediate point. My eyes are on the tip of the tee. I can see the blur of my swing moving in that direction. I see that the low point is here before I get there. So now all I got to do is stay with that, give it some nice momentum.
Nice.
And off it goes. And
Going
here
back.
it comes. Oh, look at that puppy. Huh?
That was
Isn't that
accurate.
pretty? You saw how, did you see how out to the right that was?
Yeah, that was like a bubble drive.
Yeah, that's a Bubba hook. That's
Yeah.
it, Bubba draw. So, Bubba draw. So it was a little bit on the toe, but look at that, you know, the start at about 11.5 degrees to the right.
Yeah.
I had 750 spin to the left, and I ended up like 20 feet, 25 feet to the right of my center line. So there's, in essence, how we go about using that diagonal stance. And we have a full series on how to use the diagonal stance for all of you looking for extra distance. The bonus on that, and especially, you know, when Hogan was in that, you know, that big head-on collision with the bus, and his lower body got really brutally, you know, damaged, that lower body made it a lot easier, that diagonal stance made it easier for him to gather a full range of motion in the backswing. And that really helped him also stay centered on the way through. So if you look at how that center of gravity works, when you bring that left foot back, watch what happens, or the right foot. See how my center of gravity's back here? And now it feels like I can stay really nicely on the inside of that lead leg. Have another look at our one leg drill video. Take a look at one leg drill Sean Clement, and you'll see how important that is. You can practice on one leg to get the feel for that first, and then build that diagonal stance back in there. If you need some help, go to wisdomgolfpremium.com and then just type in the search box diagonal stance, and you'll see a whole series on that, and it'll give you face on and down the line on how to get that achieved. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. See you next week.